Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Seri and I'm an African nurse studying for a PhD in Switzerland. On this channel, I discuss different topics, including my PhD journey. In the past 10 days, I posted a very first video talking about my PhD journey in Switzerland as a nurse. And today I would like to continue from where I left in that video. Now, I promise that I will be giving you updates, like weekly updates of what's happening so far in my PhD journey. And today I would like to start or to give you an update about how it all began. So my PhD journey, as you may know, in my last video, I mentioned that to do a PhD was always my childhood dream, or can I say childhood, or as soon as I was mature enough to think about my life, like when I was in high school, I had really made up my mind that in my life I would like to study for a PhD at least once in my life. And so now these are just first steps towards achieving that dream. And so I started my PhD back like 1 year ago. So I was lucky because my current supervisor, who is the principal investigator of the research program or research project that I am dealing with, she wrote a proposal and acquired funding for that particular research project. And so what she did after acquiring this funding, she hired me as a PhD student in her project. And so I'm employed in that project. I didn't have to write a proposal. I didn't have to look for funding. It's not always the case like this. I was just lucky to have been in this situation that somebody already made a proposal and acquired the funds for it. And so my work was to join the team, study the protocol or the proposal, and like find out my niche, like what did I want to do within that particular project. And so the very first months of my work contract as a PhD student, I embarked on reading, a lot of reading, and my supervisor organized workshops and seminars for me, just to get to know the key concepts in that field and to get to really read research regarding that field, to be able to like find out whether that was really my thing and what will be my particular thing or my particular part in that very project. And so the very first months of my work as a PhD student, I was reading and I was learning, just to familiarize myself with the project and to get to know like my niche within that project. And indeed, after a while, I felt ready to. I had some ideas of what I would like to do within that broader project, and so I told my supervisor that yes, it's something I would love to do, it's something I'm interested in, and I have some ideas of what I would like to do out of it. And so since it's so my research project is really a qualitative thing, and we're using ethnographic research methods or ethnographic approach to do things, or to do that research. And so it required that I went to the field as soon as possible. So if you're familiar with ethnographic research, this is a research area where you get to go to a certain field or to a certain place. Try to get as much as familiar as possible with the setting, with the people there, and try to be as much as possible a part of that team or that context or that setting, in order for you to be able to research in that particular setting. And so after a while of reading and doing seminars and some workshops, I went into the field. So I went into the field, and this is a health institution where long-term care is provided to elderly people. And so I went there, and I had to like spend quite some days to get familiar with the setting, with the people, with the environment, and then I started collecting the data. So ethnographic data involves observing, like you're just there, you are a part of the team, and you're doing some observation. And this observation, in my case, was not structured. Of course, it can be somehow structured, but pure ethnographic research requires that you do not really structure your observations, but you must have some key ideas, key concepts, and prior knowledge really at the back of your head or at the back of your mind to be able to know what you are observing and what you should really focus on and what you should target in your observation. So as much as it's not a structured way of observing things, it is structured in a way at the back of the brain, because really if you must be aware of what you're intending to achieve, otherwise you get lost in the whole thing. And so I went to the field. I became like a native in that field, and I started to do my observations. And not only did I do observations, but also interviews, and I also looked at documents. And these are classical ways of doing ethnographic research. And so all these things, all the observations, all the interviews, and the documents are all together written down as field notes. And so the field notes are the actual data that we work with in ethnographic research. So I don't want to get too much into the methodology of ethnographic research. This can be a video of another day, another time, but I just wanted to give you an overview of what I did when I say that I went to the field to do ethnographic research. So basically that's what I did, and this lasted for approximately a year. After that, I decided, okay, so this is enough. Actually, according to ethnographic methodology, a year is good enough to be able to really observe what you should observe. And so we decided that's enough for the moment. I draw back from the field and start the analysis. And so so here in Switzerland, when you're doing a PhD, as I mentioned in my previous video, it really depends where you're doing your PhD, in which institution you're doing your PhD, and therefore the requirements are different. And so the requirements of my PhD are that, of course, I do field research, or I embark on a research work, but also I need to attend classes to be able to attain points, and these points are called ECTS, and I need to acquire a total of at least 13 points, or is it 12? Where am I coming up? Where is this number 13 coming from? I think there are 12, and 9 of them are mandatory, and so 9 of them, they are specific modules that you need to take to attain 9 mandatory points, and then the rest of the points, you can choose the kind of modules that you would like to take in order to attain the additional points that should add up to about 12 points. And if you have the time and the motivation, you can also do more than that. And so so I finished my field research. I have my data, field notes on my computer, and then I need to be embarking on analysis, but at the same time I have started taking classes. You know, I'm taking classes in Switzerland, at a university in Switzerland, as I mentioned in my excuse me, as I mentioned in my previous video. I'm taking my classes at a university in Switzerland at a medical faculty, and so this has really different requirements from, for example, colleagues who are doing this, or colleagues who are taking their PhDs in other countries around Switzerland, or it could also be different from the other PhD programs in Switzerland. Of course, I don't know what others do. I know that they can be very different. And so I've been taking classes since the beginning of fall or the beginning of September. My very first module has been epidemiology. So it's like some kind of introduction to epidemiology, and it's basically about research methods and effect modifiers or something like that. And so if I can tell you briefly about this module, like what has been happening so far is that in this module, epidemiology, it's really structured in a way that I find really interesting. So over a certain period of weeks, we are attending classes like 3 days or 2.5 days per week. And so during the morning hours, we receive like 45 minutes of inputs, like theoretical inputs from the professors, and then the rest of the time we apply that theory onto our group work. So we are a group of like 25 students or more, slightly more than that maybe, and we have been divided into groups, and each group has a task to perform or to design and conduct a randomized controlled trial. And so as I said, each day we attend class, like we have some inputs from the professors of just 45 minutes, theoretical inputs, and then we get into groups to start working on our group work, like really from designing the research question to defining methods, writing a protocol, and really piloting and conducting a real study. And so since we started the course, we have been able to do all these steps. What I liked most was like each day, so like in the morning we have these 45 minutes of theoretical inputs, and then we get into groups to work on our group work, and then in the afternoon we again have 45 minutes of theoretical inputs, and then we get back to the groups to work on our group work or to work on our projects. And there are also days where there are totally no classes. We just work within our groups independently and really working on that project. So it has been like within a very short period of time, we had to define the question, define methods, write a protocol, and conduct the study. And each day, the professors have been saying, so like today, this is the milestone. Like for example, today you needed to have completed your research question or PICO question. Another day they would define a milestone, like by the end of today you should have written your protocol. So it has been really structured in a way that it's been so smooth and so amazing to go through. So if when I say that the course takes place during 3 days a week, you would think it's so intense and really, when I saw the schedule the first time, I thought, oh my god, how am I gonna do all this? But the way it's structured, it really gives a lot of room and flexibility. So we are definitely adult learners, and so it's not the work of the professors to be on our backs to see who is present, who is not present, and who is doing the homework and who is not doing the homework. We have been really organized in a way that, yes, we have this task, we have to accomplish it, and so we have just to like divide it within groups ourselves and do the work, and it has worked so well. Of course, in those groups, we had some teaching assistants who were always there guiding us and helping us with questions or just to offer us any kind of support that we needed. But the groups have been, so the work in the group was really amazing in a way that of course we had so many different discussions, but we divided the tasks so efficiently amongst ourselves that the work was always done really well, and we didn't feel the pressure of time so much. We we always hit the milestone, like every day we hit the daily milestone, and we even looked at the next milestone and planned how we wanted to do that. And I think this happened in all the groups. Looking at the output of the work, I think it happened like that. And for me, this is also a learning point that teaching can be interesting, and teaching can really be student-led if you structure it that way. And so within the groups, it was also amazing to see that we are actually people from or students from different PhD programs coming together to take this module. And so we had people like, we had doctors, medical doctors, we had epidemiologists, we had other scientists, we have nurses like me, and many other different professionals coming together really to work together. And it was so nice and to see how in different people from different disciplines can work together towards achieving one common goal. And so we had within the group different synergies, like we had people who were really strong in statistics, and so they guided us through statistics part of the work. And we had people really gifted with writing, so they did all the research. They read all the papers and wrote certain parts of the group work based on their skills. So we really used our different strengths to make sure that each part of the work was really represented by some people who were really experts in that field, and it went so well. And so this model is on. We are still on. A few more weeks left, and after that I will see which other module I should take. For the moment, that is the update I wanted to leave with you for this week. It's been really busy with that epidemiology module, but at the same time it's been really interesting, as I have mentioned, working in groups and just the way the whole module was structured, or is structured, in a way that there's learning, but not like there are formal lectures, but not really too much, and there's a lot of application of the theory to real practical, to a real practical situation. And I will not forget this way of teaching, or this way of learning. So this has been my week so far. And next week I will just give you an update of what will be happening during that week. And if you would like me to address any other issue along my PhD journey, or any other issue related to PhDs in nursing and PhDs in Switzerland, please write me a comment or write me a message. My email address is there on my channel. Please get to interact with me. I would like to know who you are, where you are watching me from, and if you like this kind of content, or if you liked my video, or if you like my story, I would really appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, so that you don't miss whenever I post anything. And please do write me a comment, do get in touch, and let me know what your experience has been like, or what you're doing, or what you would like me to address in my future videos. I thank you so much for your time, for being there, and I hope to see you next time again. Thank you, and bye bye.